Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're out in the garden today and we're taking a look at a new radio from Tidradio called the TD-H3 Plus. Now you may recall last year I did a review on the extremely successful and very popular TD-H3, which was one of the first radios from TID that appeared on the market that could be Bluetooth programmed using an app from a mobile phone, and it could also be programmed from the web using Bluetooth too, using an application called Odmaster. So Tidradio pioneered the Odmaster application and have opened it up to program a wide variety of different radios, and it was really good because obviously you didn't need a PC to program up your radio. You could just fire up your mobile phone in the field and get it programmed up without any cables or messing around or anything. So that was the biggest selling point of the TD-H3, in addition to its super compact portable size. I mean, just look how tiny this little radio is. Full colour screen, and of course this one is the same form factor exactly as the original TD-H3. So I'm going to show you that right now, because let's put that one down a second there. That's the new model and here is the old one, and as you can see there isn't any difference really in physical dimensions. A few changes on the front panel there. The speaker grill has changed ever so slightly. The screen size is the same as the previous radio, I would say. Everything on the side is very similar, apart from the grip at the bottom of this one on the left hand side. The belt clip and the battery pack is a 2500 mAh battery pack. If you've not seen my original review of the TD-H3, I suggest you check it out. I will leave a link in the description for it. It is over a year ago now, and we were quite impressed at the time with the performance. You know, the audio quality was really excellent from such a tiny little radio, and everything about it just felt right, really. You know, if you wanted a super compact radio that fits into the pocket really easily, then, you know, it's hard to beat one of these type of radios. So let's just pop that one in the background there for a second and compare it to something like this Baofeng that I've got next to me. This is the UV5RM Plus, and you can see how much bigger the UV5RM Plus is compared to the Tidradio TD-H3 Plus. So of course this isn't a massive radio, but it makes it look huge when you put it alongside. Now I'm outdoors at the moment, and you can see this radio has got a colour screen. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I can read it outdoors. It's kind of overcast today, a little bit of cloud coming in, but I've taken this one around everywhere and I've still been able to see the full colour display outside, which is a good thing really. So of course I'm not going to go through every single feature that is available on the original TD-H3. You've seen a lot of these kind of things before. It does have the compulsory flashlight on top of there, a rotary volume control, and the up and down keys to change channel and VFO. But there are a few key differences between this new model. It's not just a facelift, it does contain some really useful new features. And as I was saying, the original TD-H3 was great because you could program it via Bluetooth, and that was all very well and good, but a lot of people wanted to be able to connect Bluetooth headsets and things like that, and sadly that couldn't be done. But anyway, TID have been listening to feedback over the past year, and they've now upgraded the Bluetooth module in this. This one has Bluetooth 5.1, different profiles, BR, EDR and BLE, and what that means is you can now use Bluetooth accessories with this radio. So TID have included this Bluetooth speaker microphone in the box with the package, which is obviously an excellent choice to use with the H3 Plus, but you can connect it to other things as well, and that is a nice little accessory. USB-C chargeable too, so it just works in the same way as the radio does, doesn't take long to charge up, and has a very long battery life. And in the menu system on the TD-H3 Plus, you've also got the ability to vary the Bluetooth audio gain separately from the built-in microphone gain. So the thought of nearly everything you could wish for in this package. So if I pop that down for a second, TID have also sent me over this Bluetooth programmer, but it's not just a programmer. This uses Odmaster again, but they've sent me a Bluetooth PTT button, and this can be used to strap onto something like a car steering wheel or a motorcycle or anything like that really. But it's not just a PTT button, this is actually a Bluetooth programmer, so it's an all-in-one device. You've got obviously the USB cable for charging, but you've also got this K-type jack plug, which plugs into this and it becomes a programmer too. So as an added bonus, you can program a number of different radios and not just TID radios. You can program Baofengs and other ones. So as long as Odmaster supports the radio you're looking to program, then you can use this. So it's a multifunctional accessory, you could say, and that can be linked up obviously to the radio as well as the Bluetooth speaker mic to use as a PTT button, so you don't have to press the one on the radio itself. So I'll just put that on one side for a while. We will test that one afterwards, but that is a smart little bit of software and hardware. Excuse the noise of the birds in the background, it's very noisy out here. We do live by the coast and you do get a lot of seagulls. So if I just pop that run out of the way out there and just take you briefly into the menu system, hopefully you guys can see this outside. If I press the blue key in the corner, you can go down to the Bluetooth section on here, and you can see there we can turn Bluetooth on and off. Bluetooth modes, receiver or emitter. As I say, this radio can also be used as a Bluetooth speaker, so you can actually connect up a mobile phone to it and play music through it or audio. And there are some really interesting things that they've actually put in as a concept on this. You can use it as a kind of mobile mini repeater system as well. So what it says in the documentation is turn your TID H3 Plus into a portable repeater using Odmaster for unlimited range global communication. So it's almost like turning it into a node almost using the Odmaster app. So I think there's potential for that to develop in the future as well. So that's kind of interesting. Bluetooth name, obviously you can name the device. Bluetooth pairing, you can see if it's pairable or paired, and you can see what items are connected. In this case it is the Bluetooth speaker microphone that we've already connected into there as well, which is really good. Then you've also got Odmaster PTT, which is the one in the application. OD mode, local mode, forward mode or full mode. There's all kinds of stuff that's built into latest firmware, and incidentally there's some new firmware came out for this radio a few days ago, and I flashed it up and it's actually made the radio much more interesting. There's a whole load of new things appeared, and some of the terminology in the menus has also been changed. I'll explain more in a little while, but Bluetooth internal speaker, Bluetooth microphone gain, as I was telling you before, Bluetooth speaker gain, and Bluetooth pin code. And obviously you can reset the module should you need to do such a thing. So it's quite comprehensive on the Bluetooth side of it. So TID have obviously thought this one through and made some massive improvements over the original model. I mean, it's worth buying this one just for the Bluetooth audio features if that's your thing. You know, I go biking, so it'd be really useful for that kind of thing as well. So if I basically show you this microphone, just let's turn it on a second, just hold down that orange button on top of there.
Power on.
Yeah, I heard it say power on. And then if we go into radio settings, there you are, it's already connected automatically. And I think if we go down to here and go BT pairing, and there you can see paired, and you can delete the connection profile or just connect it inside if it doesn't connect automatically. Normally it connects automatically, but there's been some massive changes in the firmware recently which has made the functionality even easier to use. So if we just go back out of there and just push down the PTT on there, you can see there when I key up on the BT mic, it goes red on the display on this one, and you can see it actually transmitting there. So that's as simple as it gets really. It's just an extended wireless version of the microphone system inside this. So that's going to be really good if you're on a bike or anything like that. I'd probably connect up something like a Bluetooth headset rather than this speaker mic, but you don't want to be holding on to this when you're riding a bike or something. But I mean, it's entirely up to you. You can use this any way you like. I haven't tried different headsets yet or anything to see what the compatibility is like, but certainly out of the box this one just works perfectly, and the audio quality from it is pretty decent too. So what else has changed on the TD-H3 apart from the obvious things? Well, they've made quite a few changes in the firmware. In addition to the Bluetooth options, they've made things much more customizable. You can now change the menu color schemes inside here. So if we just have a look inside the menu and go down to radio settings on here, and then go all the way down to, let's wrap around from the top menu, 42 menu items now. Go to menu color, and we can change the menu to whatever we like, light, green, brown, pink, red. There's all sorts of different colours, and some obviously work better than others outdoors, so you've got to decide really which one would be best for you. If I switch that to red, you can see now the red actually seems to work quite well. It's quite legible outside. I don't know if it shows up on the camera so much as it does in front of me, but the red looks a little bit better than the blue does to me. I can see the highlight on the menu on each one of these options in here. So that's really good. But radio settings, fairly straightforward stuff. I'm not going to go through every option because there's far too many of them. All the usual refinements you would expect in a radio, but there are a few other things as well. Still got the good old Roger beep in there. Power saving. Dual watch. Now in the latest firmware, this has been changed. It used to say sync, I think, and a lot of people didn't understand what sync was. And basically sync was the dual watch facility, whereas if you turned it off, you'd get a single VFO, whereas when you've got sync on, you get the two. But they've changed the terminology to dual watch now, which makes a lot more sense to me, to have that on or off. And if we just switch that from to on there, obviously it receives on both VFOs simultaneously, and there is a different symbol in the top corner of the screen there. And you can also see the Bluetooth is switched on this radio too. There's quite a lot on the display there. And you can also customize this display. If I just go back to radio settings and go back down to that option again for dual watch, and I'm just going to turn it off for the purpose of doing this review. That wasn't very good. I turned the wrong thing on. There we go. Let's go back to off. And then go back out of here. There is actually different modes for the display as well, and I'm just going to try and find that one. Where you go to display, option 15, and I've got it set to classic because this appeared in the latest firmware, and they've got a single, a dual and classic. If I go back to single display, this was obviously in the original one. There you go. You just get a very basic display. That's a memory that I've got programmed today. It's a local node. You can see there is just a basic signal meter up there in the top corner. It doesn't actually represent the actual signal strength coming in on the radio. It just shows you when there's activity basically. And all the other stuff in there, like the name of the channel, channel number, and the other status on the radio there. So if we go back into there and go down to option 15 again, get it right in a minute. Go down there. I don't know if you can actually jump straight to the menu. You can actually by just keying in. If you know the option number you want, like 15 in this case, it jumps straight down if you just key 15 on the keypad, which is a good shortcut to know. If I go down to display and then go dual, this makes it pretty much the same as the original TDH3 display, I think. That looks very similar to that one. And the one that I like now is what they call the classic. So if I go back there again, radio settings, and go to display and then switch it to classic. The reason I like this one is because you do have a proper signal meter at the top there. Can you see that where it says RSSI? And there's a green bar across because there's a large signal on here. I'm just around the corner from the node. So I actually quite like the classic display. I think that's the one to go for me. It's very much usable with the two lines of the VFO. You can split these between VFO mode or memory just by hitting the V and M key down here in the corner. And as you can see there, it's easy enough to cycle between the two up there. And also to cycle between VFO A and B, just hold the hash key. A second, there jumps from one line to the other there. So very, very straightforward to use. I like it a lot really. It's a big improvement over the original one. And the other thing that TID claim is that the processor in this radio is faster than the original one. Apparently the CPU clock speed in the original model was 30 megahertz, and this is 240 megahertz. So it's supposed to be a bit faster response times on its menus. It certainly seems fast. It's pretty good stuff. It's also got some other new features in here that I haven't seen before. There's also what they call SMS text messaging. And if you've got two of these type of radios, you can send messages between these two radios. Look, send SMS, which is really interesting. So remember, this is an analog radio, not digital, but it can send messages between similar units. Sadly, I only have one of these radios. I don't think the feature existed in the original TDH3. As you can see, it's very different on the menu system. There we go. Just got it over here. Yeah, it looks totally different when you actually look into things completely. And yeah, the menu is very, very different in the old model. Not to say that it wasn't very capable, it was a great radio, but this just takes it to the next level. So if you've got other radios that have the text messaging feature, you can actually use those in there as well. So very, very interesting. I need to actually look into that. And obviously you can send messages between units. So a new cool feature to play with. You've also got free display modes, as I was saying earlier with this one. And also it does say here you can edit channel name and prompt tone, which is kind of interesting too. So they have been busy taking on board feedback, and of course they are releasing new firmware for this radio quite regularly, so I can expect further features to be added to it in the near future. Programming a channel is pretty straightforward. Usual things in here, there's all kinds of stuff that you can actually do. All kinds of options for CT, CSS and DCS. Certainly a lot more stuff than there used to be in the old model. Bandwidth, wide or narrow. TX power, you've got a choice of low or high power. High power is 5 watts on these little radios, which is more than enough for a dual bander like this one. And all kinds of other stuff that's very, very useful inside there, including PTT ID. And as you can see, you can actually set everything from the front panel of the radio. You don't need to use a computer to do that. You can use the Odmaster software, which I will demonstrate to you in a second. Very straightforward. You just need your iPhone or an Android device to program it up, and you can even do this from the web. And one of the things that you can do now with this new model, apparently, is you can update the firmware straight from Odmaster on the web. So that's good. You don't even need a programming cable to do such a thing. So they have made a lot of changes in this new model under the hood, and I think web programmable firmware and flashable that way makes things a lot easier for people. Not everybody has a Windows based PC. Myself, I'm a Mac user. I do have Windows as well, but my daily driver is a Mac, and of course a lot of software isn't available for that computer, so the ability to flash a radio straight from the browser is a really cool concept. And the first time I saw that done was in open source firmware with things like the Quansheng. So I think, you know, it's a good step forward anyway, certainly for a radio of this class. So especially when you think how inexpensive these radios are, really. So now we're going to take a look at Odmaster, which is the programming software for the Tidradio series of handsets. And this H3 Plus works in exactly the same way as the original H3 did in terms of reading information in from the radio. So I'm going to do this demonstration on my iPhone, but you can also do this on Android. It's available from both the Play Store and the Apple App Store as well, so really easy to get hold of. So this is Odmaster. I'm going to go into the programming section and I'm going to connect the radio via Bluetooth. And as you can see there in the list, it's identified the radio straight away, TD-H3 Plus BLE. So we're going to click that little toggle thing. It's going to connect to the radio, and as you can see now, it's established a connection with the unit. And we're going to select the model, and obviously it's Tidradio, and the version we're looking for on here is TD-H3 Plus General, because this is an unlocked version. And this radio, even though I didn't mention it earlier on, does cover the entire frequency range for dual band, 136 to 174 and 400 to 470 megahertz. It does have a wider range receive as well in there, but they're the main transmission bands for the unit. Anyway, going back to the application, we're just going to click on read, and if you watch the screen carefully on the radio, it starts reading into the iPhone without too much bother. It's nice and quick as well. There's only 200 memories available on these TD-H3s, so they don't have masses of memory in them, but that's enough for a little pocket-sized dual bander really to get your main repeaters in and your local simplex frequencies and a few airband frequencies, etc. for monitoring. So that didn't take long to read at all, so I'll just put the radio down. Equally, you can program it using the traditional methods, using the K-type jack on the side, which is behind this rubber flap, and there's also a USB port. And you can also program using Odmaster Web as well. There's the web application, which can be used on any PC with Bluetooth. But saying that, anyway, we have got the channels read into the radio here. And if I just click on where it says channel number up in the corner, you can see that anything in green is a programmed channel, and those in red are actually empty channels. So you can have a quick overview of what's available in there. So if I just tap into one of the memories, let's go into this memory here, number 20. You can see there the frequency 145200 is programmed in. You can change all aspects of that channel, including CT, CSS, DCS encoding, bandwidth, transmit power, and whether you want to add it to the scan list or not, etc. So that's really, really straightforward things to do. Likewise, you just go back in if you want to edit any other memories and just choose one of these. And as you can see there, you can actually name the channel as well. You know, so basically anything you could do from the front panel of the radio or traditional CPS software, you can actually do from inside here as well. So nice and straightforward. If I click onto function, you can change all aspects and parameters of the radio in there, including the squelch level, brightness of the screen, color schemes, and that kind of thing. Roger beep, key presses. So just about everything that you can think of has been put into the Odmaster application. So it is kind of like a nice benefit of this, not having to use a PC of any sort. You can do this all from on the fly on your mobile phone, and you can also save these into the Odmaster cloud as well. So if I was to save my config of this radio now, I can click save, and you can create a save to RxTX list. And if we now type in there test 1, I can click confirm on that, and that saved it into the application. And you can also bring up this thing here that says repeater, and you can actually program memories straight from here. So it actually looks at your location, and then it can program repeaters in, and you can import them in. So if we click on import to, and we can say which channel we wanted to store it into, and we could just go straight to the end of here, just so I don't overwrite anything. So if I go up to memory number 190, for example, I can click in there and then click confirm. It'll have programmed that repeater into that memory. So, you know, if you've got repeaters that you use quite often, it's quite a handy time-saving feature. So I don't know where it gets its database from for this information. It could be something like Repeater Book, but certainly it does save a lot of time and effort. And that's a really good thing. So overall, I think this is a really nice piece of kit, really. You can use Odmaster for programming other radios as well as the TDH3, but I'm just showing it working with this unit, because obviously that's what it was made for, really. But there is other features in there. That's just the very basic things you can do with it. But it's nice to see it all coming together. And I think for such a low price radio, this is really good functionality. So that's it. So I'm going to have a little look at this programmer that Tidradio sent over. This is the PTT Button and Programmer. It doubles up. It's multifunctional. There's the instruction guide for it there. And you can see in the box we have the PTT Button, which also comes with some handy Velcro to attach to something like a steering wheel or a bike handlebar or something similar to that. Your imagination is the only limit to its use. Let's just put that into there. So there's the PTT, very, very small, tiny little thing there. Will connect over Bluetooth in a second, hopefully. And if we have a look in the box, this is for the programming side of it. There's a K-type jack there and a USB-C connection which goes into the Bluetooth PTT button. So it's multifunctional. Not only is it a PTT, you can program all different radios with it. So you'd have to check the Odmaster website, and it'll tell you which models are compatible with the software. But this is kind of like a very neat multifunctional device. There's also a USB-C cable in there for charging as well. So all the usual stuff that you'd imagine. So we're going to try and pair this Bluetooth PTT up. I haven't done this before, so we're just going to turn the power on this unit. Keep the finger down on there a second or two. We'll put it into pairing mode. And as you can see there on the actual button itself, there is a very small flashing green and red light. So I'm now going to bring up the radio, go into the Bluetooth menu and see if we can pair it up with this radio. So let's have a look down here. Go into BT pairing. I'm going to go to pairable devices. So it's going to now search for this button. Now hopefully we're going to find this in a second or two. Sometimes you have to give these things a little while to work out what's what. But not only can you attach this to the speaker mic, you can also attach it to the PTT button. There we go, look, TID PTT. Now there's two of them appeared in the list. I don't know quite why you see two of them in there, but I'm just going to go for the top one anyway. Bluetooth connected. It actually read that to me in a voice. It was just turned really, really low, but you do get an audio prompt on there as well. So now that's connected up. I've just got it on a frequency down here on simplex, and I'm going to press down the PTT and see if it actually does. And it does PTT, and instant response as well there. So you've now got an external PTT button rather than using the one on the side of the unit there. So there's no delay, no lag, no latency. It literally, as soon as I key there, it's keying on the radio. So that's really, really good. So I haven't tried this yet, but I'm now going to turn on this speaker microphone, and it should also pair up at the same time as this, hopefully. I'm just hoping that it does. I think you can connect both devices at the same time. So I'm just going to go back into the menu, into Bluetooth. It should be able to make the connection to both devices at once, I'd have thought. So if I go back to BT pairing, then go to paired, because it's been previously paired up. We see the microphone there. Click on more. Let's click on connect.
Bluetooth disconnect. Bluetooth connected.
Right, so I don't know if you can actually connect to both of these at the same time. I don't think you can, because it looks like it disconnected from the PTT, and as you can see there, like the PTT is not working now. But if I go back out of this, it's now connected to the speaker mic. So yeah, you might think to yourself, well, why would you want two external PTTs at the same time? So I just press the button down on here now. There you go, look, the Bluetooth microphone is now working with the PTT instead. So that's the answer. You can't connect to both of these devices at the same time, which, you know, I did wonder whether you would be able to or not, but really it's not that logical, I suppose, that you'd want to use both of them two things. But yeah, remote PTT button doesn't work at the same time as this device is connected. So if I wanted to go back to the PTT, just go into Bluetooth menu, go to pairing again, and if we go to paired, we can see there's the mic and the other unit. So let's go to the microphone. We don't want to delete it from there. We don't want to connect from there. It's already connected. Let's go down to that BT on off. If we just turn this one off instead.
Bluetooth disconnected.
There you go. And go back into here. Go back to paired. And then go to PTT. And we will now reconnect this one.
Bluetooth connected.
There you go. So if we go back out now to the exit menu, press the PTT, we're back on that one. So yeah, but anyway, it shows how the pairing process works anyway. You can always disconnect things and, you know, unpair them inside there as well. But it just shows how versatile the Bluetooth actually is in this. And I'm going to try making a connection to the radio from my phone instead, and see if we can actually get it to stream something that way. So let's try that next. Well, using this device as a Bluetooth speaker is really straightforward. I didn't think this would actually work, but first time I tried it, and I'm quite impressed actually. Go into Bluetooth menu again on this one. Then we just go down to Bluetooth here. Go to just check in Bluetooth mode. It's set as a BT mode as receiver. And I've got my mobile phone here, so I'm just going to literally find the Tidradio. It's just appeared on the list there, TD-H3+. So I'm just going to tap into that. I'll just take it back to the original screen there. Click on TD-H3+.
Bluetooth connected.
That was really, really quick. So I'm going to try streaming some audio from the BBC Sounds app here.
Won the big race of the day, the Ebor handicap.
Look at that.
York in the 100. The Northern Superchargers did.
And as you can see, you can use the TD-H3+ as a Bluetooth audio device. So it's crazy. This also becomes like a portable speaker for Bluetooth. So it could be quite handy if you want to connect any other accessories up. So it works the opposite way round, you know. So not only can this device stream audio, it can also receive audio from other Bluetooth sources too. So it's incredibly versatile what TID have actually done with this radio. So this is totally different from the old model. And I'm quite impressed with that, really. Good audio quality considering the small size of the speaker as well.
To Andy Reid and John Murray.
Yes, welcome back everyone to the Emirates. I wish I could say the same for probably about a quarter of the...
So let's try this little Bluetooth programmer with some other radio equipment to see if it really can program from this. It's a tiny little thing, isn't it? And I've got the UV25 here. Now the UV25 is a very chunky radio. Just look at the size of it compared to the H3+ there. It's absolutely massive. But the purpose of this exercise is to see if this little programmer can program up a non-Bluetooth radio such as this UV25 that I've got here. So side flap on this K-type jack. Let's plug the programmer in and see what we can do, shall we? I think it just goes in this way. There we go. So programmer in. I think it's on. I'll just have a look and see. There we are. Yeah, we've got the flashing pairing light. So I'm going to use my phone, and we're going to go connect on Bluetooth. So let's see if we can find it on there. And as you can see, we've got a number of different things on here. We have got the Tidradio PTT, which is the PTT Programmer button there. So let's just see if we can connect to that. Connected device, there we go. So it's come up in the list. And we're going to select the model number of the radio appropriately now. So obviously I need to go back from earlier on. And I'm going to go to Baofeng. And I'm looking for UV25 on the list. Don't seem to be in any kind of order really. UV25. I've probably gone past it already. Let's see if I can find it on there. Ah, there we go, UV25. So let's see if it can actually read on this radio. Mismatch baud rate, click connect, click confirm and reconnect, confirm. So I wonder what we need to do inside there. Let's try that again and go back to the PTT. And now it's renegotiated at a different speed. Let's hit read on that. There we go. So it looks like it's working. Yes, we can see there at the top of the unit the radio is flashing. I don't know what caused that first time around. It went to 9600 baud. Now it's going at a lot faster rate of knots, as they say. And this little PTT button is actually a Bluetooth programmer. So this is a really handy little piece of kit to have around. Not only for your Tidradio stuff, but any brand like this Baofeng that we've got here. So it seems to be reading reasonably fast anyway, and that's just going into the software now, so we'll be able to check if it's actually read some of the memories out of this radio in a minute. It's going to be quite interesting, really. And sure enough, there we go, that's it, it's finished, the radio's rebooting, and yeah, I can see all the memories of this radio, and it's all working correctly, yeah. So I can see all the functions. Now, of course, every release of Odmaster, they're adding more and more radios to it. There is quite a lot in there. Think of it as a wireless version of Chirp, I would say. And TID are actually trying to support as many other brand radios as possible. So it's an entire ecosystem. And the best thing about Odmaster is you've got the web-based version, which is non-platform specific, meaning you can use any web browser on a computer once you've registered an account with Tidradio. Or you can do it on the fly like this for field programming. So I think this piece of kit, not only with it being a PTT button, doubling up as a programmer is an extremely versatile little bit of kit, really. So I would definitely consider ordering one of these if you're looking for a wireless programmer, because I can think of a whole load of uses for this kind of thing. So I'm really impressed with how that worked anyway. And as I've said, very easy to use with Odmaster. And programming up anything like this UV25 without the Bluetooth functionality. So I'm really impressed with that. Yeah, really good. Incidentally, in the back of the booklet, it does actually show a supported list of radios. Obviously, Baofeng are quite well supported. Obviously, Tidradio. We don't actually need it though with the H3 Plus because it's got the Bluetooth built in. There's Radioddity, Retivis in there, Quansheng. So there is quite a lot, and then there's a few other rare ones as well, and it does say that they're being continually updated, so this list could be out of date by the time this is published. TID could have also added some other things into there as well. And the user guide is really comprehensive. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to connect up, how to use the Odmaster software, and it also goes through to the offline programming feature where you don't need an internet connection, plus Odmaster Web, which I showed you in the previous video. So I'm not going to show it in this one, because if you want to see that, you can go back to the TDH3 video that I've got on YouTube already, and I show Odmaster Web working in there as well. So it's really, really good. So I would say definitely for the low price of this item, it's worth having one of these around. Very handy if you haven't got a laptop with you and you want to make some programming changes to any sort of radios that don't support Bluetooth natively. So yeah, quite impressed. Right, well, it's time to do a quick power test on the TDH3 Plus. Now, Tidradio claim around 5 watts total output on this, maximum power. So first of all, we're going to try it on the 2 meter band. So I've selected 145000, and we've got the trusty Shawcom SW102 SWR and power meter here. So I'm going to key down and let's see what we get. So this is going to be on max power, and if you can see the display there, hopefully it's focusing in there. We're getting 4.13 watts, 4.16 watts at the moment, so just over 4 watts on the 2 meter band on full power, so not too bad really. They did say up to 5 watts, so I suppose that does stack up about right for such a small transceiver like this one. So let's now change down to low power, see if I can get it to go into there. Okay, so we're going to go down to low power, exit that menu, go back over to here, and we're seeing 1.58 watts on low power. So that would be about right really. Yeah, about 1.5 watts on low power. So that's pretty good. So now I'm going to jump all the way up to the 70 sems band. And we might as well stay on low power since we've got it keyed into there. So let's key down on low power. And we're seeing about 3 watts there on the low power setting. So that seems reasonable. Let's go into the menu and then go up to high power and do that one. Just exit out of there And if we keep up now, we're seeing, we're getting there, 5.3 watts of output power there on that one, so that's pretty good as well. So yeah, so just over 5 watts on the 77s band, so slightly more power output on that one. So as you can see, the radio does stack up to the claim that it does around 5 watts maximum power output, which is pretty good when you consider the size of this little radio, so that's really good. Right, so we're testing the TDH3 Plus out in the countryside. Great day for it. I'm going to be speaking to Paul, M0DPH. He was about, I don't know, other side of the town, maybe 3 or 4 miles away. He's in his car mobile, so we'll give him a shout and see if he's coming back to me. Right, M0DPH, G7UFS testing the Tidradio TDH3 Plus. Back to you.
0DPH, yeah, cracking signal. You're out of it, can't go any further on my scale. And very, very, very good clear audio.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. So you've heard about this radio, I was telling you about it the other day. It's got Bluetooth in it, adjustable mic gain on both the Bluetooth side and the standard handset as well. So it's quite customizable, it can do a lot of stuff, this radio. So I've just brought it out into the countryside. I'm on full power at the moment and it seems to be working well. The audio coming in from you as well, if you're out in the car, is absolutely superb. Paul, back to you.
0DPH, yeah. I can barely tell the difference between that and a Year 2, to be fair. Your audio is as good on that as it is in your car.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing really for a little handheld. I mean, these are about, what, $40 or so, something like that. So they're a really good value radio. And as you saw yesterday when I showed you it when you came round, absolutely tiny little thing. And I can even see the colour display outdoors, Paul, so that's a plus point. Because a lot of these radios, as you know, don't work too well outdoors when you get the bright sunshine. But it's the first time we've had sunshine in about a week, I think, so it's doing okay, yeah?
Yeah, well, when I saw it yesterday, I was very impressed with the size of it. It's actually smaller than a packet of 20 cigarettes, apart from the aerial stuck on the top leg. And the screen is quite impressive. I like the green on the screen. It makes it nice and visible during sort of daylight and sunny. So it is a nice bit of radio. It's a nice looking radio. And it certainly packs a punch for a tiny little radio.
Yeah, G7UFS returning. Yeah, it certainly does, Paul. Yeah, you can also change the menu colours, I noticed. There is a new option in this firmware now to change the colours of the menu system. So you can change whatever suits you outdoors, really. So I'm going to be taking it out this afternoon, do a bit of listening maybe on the airband and everything as well, see what's coming in. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's like similar to the, I suppose similar to a Quansheng in some respects. Only 200 memories, that's the only downside. You haven't got like memory management or anything. It's just 200 memories all the way through. A bit like the Quanshengs and stuff like that. But it's a good follow-on radio from the TDH3 that they released, I think it was last year. We did a review on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test this speaker mic, which is Bluetooth. So I don't expect the audio to be quite as good as the built-in mic. If you stand by a minute, I'll get it connected up and we'll give it a test then. I've noticed there is a tiny little bit of latency when you push the button down, like you've got to just pause just for about half a second before you start speaking, before it keys up. So I'll just switch over to it, Paul. I'll just get it connected and then we'll come back to you, yeah?
Problem, I've found that across the board with Bluetooth microphones, you have a little bit of latency on them. But you're going to get that anyway with the Bluetooth connectivity. So I'll be listening. M0DPH is taking a standby.
Right, back in a second, Paul. Okay, so that's the Tidradio speaker microphone there. We're going to give that a try now. So I'm going to power this one up just by pushing the button on top.
Power on.
And we're just waiting for this to connect now.
Connected.
Well, perfectly quick connection. Sometimes you have to wait a few seconds while it connects, but it's found it straight away. I'm going to adjust the volume level to about midway on this one, and we'll give this a try. Okay, M0DPH G7 UFS testing the Bluetooth speaker mic with the Tidradio H3 Plus. Back to you, Paul.
0DPH, right, you can tell it's not a hard connection. You can tell it's done over Wi-Fi. Your audio has changed a little bit, not massively. You're still clear, punchy audio, but there is a bit of tinniness to it, just a tiny little bit of tinniness. But you know, it's not detrimental to it in any way, shape or form. So obviously you can tell me what the audio coming out the other way is going to be like.
Yeah, okay, Paul, G7UFS returning. Yeah, the audio coming out of the speaker is quite good as well. You've got to adjust your audio levels carefully, otherwise it distorts. I've just got a tractor going past me in the opposite field. I think they're ploughing at the moment, so excuse if you can hear any noise on the video anyway later on. But yeah, it's actually coming in really, really good. There is audio gain settings for both the microphone side and the audio incoming on this speaker mic, so it is really customizable. There's 2 buttons for up and down audio on it for volume level, and like I say, the mic gain can be done from inside the radio itself as well. So as you can see, it works pretty decent. The audio coming out of it from my side is good, not quite as good as the built-in speaker, but I kind of expected that anyway, Paul. So I'll hand it back to you and we'll have a little bit more listen to your audio. So M0DPH, G7UFS, back to you.
0DPH, yep. There is a tiny little bit of white hiss behind you, just a tiny little bit of white noise behind your audio. Obviously that's because you're obviously on a Wi-Fi connection. But apart from that, it's not hard to listen to, if you know what I'm saying. And it sounds a little bit like digital or DMR. It just changes the characteristics of your audio just a tiny little bit, and it just has a hint of DMR to it. But there is, like I said, there is that little bit of white noise behind your audio.
Right, okay then, Paul, thanks for that report. Yeah, that sounds about realistic for what we're expecting. What I'm going to do later on is I'm going to test this on the SDR if it's up and running, you know, our remote SDR, and get some audio captured in through the SDR so we can compare the two between the Bluetooth speaker mic and the built-in microphone on the Tidradio H3 Plus. But yeah, fantastic day for it anyway. Lovely day for testing for a change. The wind's not blowing a gale for once. And I'm stood around looking at the field now, and yeah, great view overlooking the bay, down the coastline and everything. So I think we're going to have a good day with a bit of luck. I'm going to be going up to Dalby Forest maybe a bit later on and doing some tests up there as well with things. But appreciate the testing, Paul. I don't know how it would sound with other headsets, where maybe it'd work with one of the Yaesu BT headsets, or even in car audio, but obviously you'd have to work a way of pressing the PTT. This microphone's designed to work, you know, with the Bluetooth on this radio, so of course it does the PTT button and everything. I've got an external PTT button you can use, but I don't think you can connect it simultaneously with this microphone. When I tested it earlier on, I couldn't do that. So that's just one of the downsides to it, but yeah. Anyway, hand it back to you for the final on this test, and really appreciate it, Paul, from G7UFS.
M0DPH, yeah, well you'll probably find if you connect it to your car stereo, then you'll be able to use your PTT button to key the radio.
Yeah, I think you could be right, Paul, yeah. I think it's probably either or. I don't think you can use the PTT button I've got separately. But I'll try it again later on, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if it does connect. It's Bluetooth 5.1 I think in this radio, so it's fairly new, so we'll see what it does. But anyway, right, I'll take a standby, Paul, and just finish the video there, and we'll wrap it up. So many thanks for the test, yeah?
This is G7UFS testing the audio quality of the Tidradio TD-H3 on the standard built-in microphone on the two-way radio. 54321 12345. Audio test 12345. Golf 7 Uniform Foxtrot Sierra. This is G7UFS testing the TD-H3 speaker microphone using Bluetooth audio connection back to the radio. 54321 12345. Golf 7 Uniform Foxtrot Sierra testing the Bluetooth speaker microphone. 12345. Audio check G7UFS.
Whitby to Gibraltar Point, 24-hour forecast. South or southeast, veering southwest for a time, 2 to 4. Slight, fair, good. Outlook for the following 24 hours. South, backing southeast, 2 to 4. Increasing 5 or 6, then veering southwest, 3 or 4 later. Slight, occasionally moderate in the north. Showers later. Good, occasionally moderate. Gibraltar Point to North Foreland, 24-hour forecast. Southerly, 2 to 4. Smooth or slight. Fair, good. Outlook for the following 24 hours. Southerly, 2 to 4. Backing southeasterly, 3 to 5. Then veering southwesterly later. Slight, occasionally smooth. Thundery showers later. Good, occasionally moderate later.
Echo, when ready, descending flight level 300, expecting exit level 260. 3 630, Turkish Fokker Delta.
Good afternoon, United 673, flight level 360. Direction now on United 673.
0, heading 295. And heading descent flight level 330, ED3154.
Well guys, this is it, the Tidradio TD-H3 Plus. I don't know about you, but I think this is quite a worthy successor to the original model that was released quite some time ago. And Tidradio have tried hard to listen to user feedback and adapt things and build in as many new features as possible into this version of the radio. Namely, the Bluetooth audio support is the big one. For a lot of people, this is a deal breaker. We've seen a lot of radios in the past come out of China that can be used for programming with Bluetooth, but this one takes it to the next level by having the Bluetooth audio support for different headsets and speaker mics and accessories like this, and not forgetting the wonderful little PTT button that I've got here as well, which doubles up as a programmer for other radios too. Now at the moment on Tidradio's website, they do have some decent offers on this, with it being a new piece of kit. They do offer bundles, so you can get the radio with or without the speaker mic and also the PTT button, etc. So do take a look over there and see what there is. I'm going to try and drop some affiliate links into the description of this video and maybe save you a little bit of money as well while we're at it. But as I say, this is a great piece of kit. I do think we've got a lot to explore still with Odmaster. I didn't show you half of it in the video because it would make it very, very long, but I might do a separate video on the Odmaster capabilities and when I've had a chance to investigate the PTT side of it as well, which makes this into a little, almost like a node or repeater, which could be quite interesting as well if you're into that side of the hobby. That's obviously using the Odmaster application. Was there anything that I didn't particularly like about this radio? Well, not really. I found the AM airband reception sufficient. It wasn't probably the most sensitive radio that I've tested out of all the different ones I've been trying recently, and I did find the audio quality a little bit hissy on the AM with a weak signal, but apart from that everything seemed to work okay, and it's miles ahead of some of the other Chinese radios when it comes to AM reception, so that's something to bear in mind. And the other thing is, you've still only got 200 memories in this unit, so if you're using it as a small portable just for the local repeaters and maybe a few simplex channels, then you're going to have enough memory channels. But 200 memory channels this day and age, I wish they'd just kind of expanded the memory a little bit further. Maybe 500 channels would have been a better choice. A lot of us these days have all kinds of different repeaters programmed and nodes and things, and maybe you want to program your marine frequencies in, etc. And I'd just like to see a slight boost on the memory, but we've still only got the 200 channels of the original model in this. That said though, I think it's a great package. The audio quality was superb through the built-in speaker. Everyone said that they liked the sound of the audio on the FM side of it as well, when I've been hitting repeaters and talking to people simplex, as you saw in the clip earlier on. Nobody could fault it at all. Everything was coming through crystal clear. Anyway, like I said, we'll leave some links in the description to the radio, and thank you very much for the support of the channel, both for yourself as the viewer and also Tidradio for sending this one through to me. It's always appreciated. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.